Welcome to the Arizona Wildcat Show, brought to you by Fry's Food Stores. I'm Star Sports Editor Ryan Finley here with Daniel Burke. Daniel, big game this week. Thursday, Arizona opens its 2015 season. UTSA is the opponent. What should we look forward to as the Wildcats and Roadrunners kick off at 7 p.m.?
I think the biggest thing is probably not as close a game as last year. I would expect Arizona to be in a lot more control this year for a couple of reasons. I don't think UTSA is as good. They've lost a lot. They're a younger, inexperienced team, whereas Arizona, I think, brings in a more veteran team, an older team, and a better team than last year. So I think you could see a lopsided game if Arizona plays the way that they're hoping to play, whereas last year I think everyone knew on the road against a veteran team that you could see a close game.
Well, you know, Daniel, something that most people don't remember from last year is Arizona really did not play well, especially in crunch time. I don't know if it was because it was Anu Solomon's first ever road trip or just they couldn't move the ball, it seems like, at the end. If UTSA was prepared, Tevis didn't have that big interception late, we'd be talking about this being a revenge game for the U of A.
Absolutely. You know, Anu said something that kind of gave some insight into that game. If you remember, the first offensive play of the game was an 85-yard touchdown pass from Solomon to Caleb Jones.
Yeah.
And they said all the right things after that game and all that. But he admitted this week, I mean, after you do that on the first play, you kind of think it's going to be easy, and you let up a little bit. And I think that's what he did, which you cannot do in your first road start, like you said. So, you know, they had that first big play. They didn't play great. After that, they kind of let down, whereas I think now this year, these guys all take them seriously. They all know they're going to have to play 60 minutes and all that. And so I think you'll see a different vibe from Arizona this year.
If you were UTSA, how would you game plan for Arizona?
That's a really good question. Offensively, I would gamble and try to get as much pressure on Solomon as possible, especially with an inexperienced offensive line, guys playing different positions. I'd bring a lot of pressure early and try to force Solomon into making quick decisions. And then offensively, you got to go after Arizona's cornerbacks. I mean, you have to test Devontae Neal, Sammy Morrison, Cam Denson, Jarvis McCall. You got to test those guys out early. I think in terms of the run game, you know what Arizona has in terms of stopping it with Scooby Wright and Reggie Gilbert and some of those other guys. But I think there's some, maybe you can exploit some things in the pass game if you go after those young cornerbacks.
See, I would go with the old Jim Harbaugh philosophy. When he first got to Stanford, he knew that they had no players. His philosophy was basically hold ball.
Right.
And in a way, I think in the age of spread football, that's proven that it can work a little bit, or at least keep you in a game and then hope to get lucky at the end.
The only problem is if you're not moving the ball and you're going 3 and out, and then especially with the way Arizona plays, you're trying to hold the ball and quickly you realize it's 21-0 6 minutes into the game. And you have to adjust. So I think you have to take some chances against this defense. You have to, especially against an inexperienced cornerbacks, you know, take some chunks of yards through the air.
Absolutely. Arizona's season opener Thursday, 7 p.m. against UT San Antonio. That'll do it for this episode of the Arizona Wildcat Show, brought to you by Fry's Food Stores. For Daniel Burke, I'm Ryan Finley. We'll see you next time.
Try this matchup. Low prices and faster checkout. You can count on it at Fry's.